or it just says to leave the meeting, please don't leave. We love that you're here and are happy to have you. So welcome to the Contracts VILT session. This is the second part of the two-part training for the new EVA platform. That first part was your self-paced training in the LMS, and now we have the VILT session, which should add to your training experience, and you'll be able to not only go over some key points, but also take a look at a demo and also answer any questions that you might have. So let's go over some Zoom reminders before we get started today. First, Zoom reminder is that today's session, as I said, is a webinar. If you have not heard me say this, today's session, because it's a webinar, you have your camera turned off and you're muted. But that's not because we don't want to hear from you or see your lovely faces. It's really to make sure that we limit any unwanted interruptions. And if you're like me and have left yourself unmuted before, that can be really embarrassing. So now you don't have to worry about it. You can sit back and relax and hopefully learn something and just enjoy the session. However, there are still two ways that you can interact with us today. The first one is the chat feature, which you all have been using beautifully to say hello to us as you join today's session. Please continue to use it for that purpose. There's also going to be 2 times today where you're asked to provide some feedback, and the chat is where you will want to do that. And our awesome co-trainers will remind you of that when we get to those parts of today's presentation. There's also a question and answer box. This is where all of your questions need to go, no matter where we are in the webinar and no matter what the question is. And that's because we want to make sure that we have addressed all of your questions. And if there's a question we can't answer today, we want to make sure that we go back to our colleagues and get the correct answer for you. And if you put those questions in the chat, we're not able to guarantee that we'll be able to see it and address it. So please, 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 all questions go in that Q&A box. Finally, and let's see if maybe 2 folks that have what are known as Zoom aliases. So that means folks that log in and don't put their name in. Zoom assigns you an alphanumeric code. Not a problem, but because I want to make sure that everybody that's on today's webinar is counted as having attended, I will message those folks individually to ask for your full name, and then I will rename you so I can make sure later when I go into mark attendance that you are marked as having attended. But I promise to be quiet now and pass it over, at least until next week when I go back to teaching some of these, which I'm excited about. But I will pass it over to your wonderful co-trainers for today, Joanne and Elizabeth. Take it away, ladies.
All right. Hello, everyone. Glad to have everybody here today. My name is Joanne Bryant, and I have worked in the current EVA system since its inception, which means I have lots of years at the state. And if you can see on the screen, I have my email address if you have any questions or follow-up questions, and I will turn it over to Liz, so she can introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I am Elizabeth Banks. I am your procurement management account executive. If you are executive branch agency, I have been working in EVA since 2007, so not as long as Joanne, but I've got a little years under my belt. My email address is on the screen as well if you have any questions. Thank you.
All right, we are going to start off today with a poll question. The first question is, which of these describes your role in EVA? You're able to pick multiple selections if you serve in more than one role. We'll give you about 30 seconds to respond, and it helps us know who our audience is today. However, if everybody can go ahead and answer and we get 100%, we can roll right on. So
And I will say that yesterday's contract session got all 3 polls 100% participated, which has never happened. So no pressure to today's attendees, but
That's
Nice.
put it out there.
So if you're
Okay.
multitasking, describe your role real quick.
You guys did it. You got 100%.
Good, thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right, so it looks like we have a lot of contract officers, which is good because this is the contracting one. We have people that approve, and we also have some administrators and some administrative people. So we have a good mix.
Awesome.
And we are gonna roll right into the next poll question. So we're looking for 100% on this one too. And so what is your confidence level for this topic? No right or wrong answer. We just want to see how confident you are going into the session. And we hope you come out of the session maybe a step above what you currently went into the session. All right, we're looking for 100%. Everybody press the button, pick one. Are you
We're
really confident?
almost there, guys. Almost.
Okay,
One more.
come on, that one person. You know who you are. We don't know who you are, but you know who you are.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, you guys did it.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, well, that's great. Everybody, the majority is medium, so that's wonderful. Hopefully everybody has taken their training and are going through and learning all they can about the new system. And those people that are low, it's you know, we'll help you get there. That's what today is all about. All right, what do you hope to take away from this session? What do you think is going to be most valuable to you? And since it's a webinar, we need you to write that in the chat. So some people previously said they want to gain more knowledge. They want to see the demo. And so just make sure that you put that in the chat. Okay, nobody's put anything in the chat. Come on, chat it up. Let's go.
Oh, we have more knowledge. We have demo. Okay, awesome. Just a minute to look at the system. Okay. To get a better understanding of how to create contracts, knowledge.
Hi, Craig.
Awesome. All right.
All right. So we're knowledge and demo, and that they're the two biggest for the most part. This is the second time that I've done a VILT for contracts. So now I'm going to go over the agenda for today's session. And first, we're going to do a quick recap of your self-paced training that you have previously taken. And then we're going to do, Liz is going to do the live demo for us. And then after that, we'll have a few minutes to take your questions and then discuss the next session, the next steps. The session should not run longer than an hour. So here are the topics that we're going to cover in our recap. The topic should look familiar to you from the self-paced training. We will quickly review just the most important concepts that will help you use the system effectively. This includes contract basics, contract creation, and also the contract management process. So after awarding an RFX to a supplier, you need to set up a contract. And there are two ways to do this. In most cases, a new contract is created only once an RFX is awarded to a supplier. This signals the end of the sourcing process. At this time, you will be ready to create a contract record. The other less commonly used way to set up a contract is to create one without a related sourcing event. Here's a high-level illustration to show the contract creation process workflow in EVA. This shows both workflows, whether you create a contract from a sourcing project or if you create a standalone contract. The process for each is very similar. When you're creating a contract, the new EVA platform also gives you the option to collaborate with a supplier within the system. We'll discuss the details of these processes in the next slide. So here are the steps to create a new contract record. Create contract record. When you create a contract record, EVA will create a contract shell and copy forward the details from the awarded proposal. You update contract information. When creating or updating a contract shell is created and the basic details from your sourcing event are copied into the contract shell. At this stage, a contract number is generated. Author the contract record. After a contract shell is created with the basic details, it's time to create the contract record. Open the contract you just created and then start filling in the details. Draft and upload contract in the Documents tab. The buyer collaborates with the supplier when creating a contract document. These are then added into the contract document, which the buyer creates and attaches it with the contract record. Submit the finalized contract record. After ensuring all the tabs are filled correctly, you need to submit the contract record. And this is a high-level illustration to show the contract management process workflow in EVA. Contract management involves steps such as adding contract expenditures, managing subcontractor reports, updating contract information, amending contracts, and canceling a contract. And we'll discuss each of these steps of the process in the next slide. When a contract record is approved, it changes its status from draft to running. That's when you can start buying from the contract. Also, this introduces the next phase where you need to start managing your contract. These are the steps involved in managing a contract in EVA. So the first step is manage subcontractor reports. It's an optional step if subcontractors are part of the contract. The functionality provides suppliers a way to report payments they have made to subcontractors, and it allows buyers to manage subcontractor payment information for the contract record. The second step is update contract through administration. When needed, an administrator can update details of a contract. And then you can also amend contracts. This creates a new contract number, populates the existing information forward. However, some information from evaluation, inherent risk, and expenditure tabs do not get copied. And step 4, you can terminate a contract before its end date, and you can also cancel a contract. Here's a quick question to get us in the right mindset before we dive into the demo. From this page, where would you click to prepare a new contract from this screen? Please write your answer in the chat. This is not something that we just covered, but it was covered in your self-paced training. Okay, did I lose people?
All right, guys, let's put the answer in the chat. Let's see what you got.
All right, let's see what you come up with. Okay, since nobody's answering, I will give you a hint. It's one of the options in the left navigation menu. Anybody? Somebody?
Yes.
Yay! Yes.
Yes, Amanda.
Yes, Amanda, you are right. The answer is the contract option. And so now, what a lot of people are waiting on, I'm going to pass the presentation over to my co-trainer, who will review the next slide and then share her screen for the demo.
All right, everyone, the moment you've been waiting for, the demonstration portion. Okay, first let me apologize because of the glare on my glasses. It is a filter for my screens, for my computers. So I apologize in advance for my glare on my screen. What we're gonna do, or my glasses rather, what we're gonna do is create a contract record from the sourcing event. We're going to create a standalone contract, and we're going to amend the contract. So let me go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see what we're going to be doing. All right, Joanne, if you can see my screen, my EVA platform, give me a thumbs up.
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, so first let's go to our sourcing event. Well, first, let's back up. When you sign into EVA, you're going to be on your landing page. This will be your landing page. And from a sourcing event, you're going to click the sourcing tab, go under sourcing projects, and you'll see the list of your sourcing projects that you have been working on. So let's evaluate, well, it's already been evaluated. We're going to start the contract for the cat carriers. So like we said in the PowerPoint presentation, we're going to click on contract. We've already awarded to this business because there's a green selected button here. If you want to start your contract and this is not green, you must go over to the notification tab and click select, and that will turn this green here. So let's start by clicking our create updated contract. And this will be a new contract. As you can see, the system brought in the information from our sourcing event. So let's go ahead and type in cat carriers for the contract. And the type is going to be a master agreement. So one thing I'd like to remind everyone, if you see a red asterisk, that means required. So remember, red means required. So you must fill in these entities before you can save. So once we've done all of that, we can see that the information was pulled over: the supplier, the sourcing project, the commodity, organization, the entity. All this information is pulled from their sourcing event. So we can go ahead and save. Now EVA has said our data has been saved. So let's scroll down and make sure of that. The team members, this will be your contract administrator. These are the items and the bid and the pricing. All right, so we're going to close that. And now EVA has generated the contract number. So let's click on the contract number. And now you see the contract is in draft status. That's because we need to make sure that all of the information is in the headers over on this side. So you have your overview tab, you have your header tab that you can click on, and we're going to fill in our effective date. Remember, red means required. So our effective date, let's say, is going to be tomorrow. And our end date is going to be October 20th of 2023. So we're going to fill that information out. And we know that this was was it a quick quote? I believe I did it as a quick quote. That information does not come over. So you got to remember what type of opportunity type your solicitation was. And also procurement action type. Of course, this is going to be supplies, non-technology. And you also have the options down here, no red asterisk, but I suggest that you, or recommend that you put in your renewals, because EVA will notify you if you fill this information in. So we're just going to do one renewal period. We're going to save to make sure it's correct. The data has been saved. So we're going to save and close. And as you can see, the little pencil showed up. So we can actually go in and edit. Whenever you see a pencil, that means you have the opportunity to edit a field. So let's go ahead and make sure everything is correct here. years. Yes. All right. Save and close. And you have a notification date. We always want to make sure we put that in so we can keep ourselves abreast of when the contract will be expiring. So our contract is going to expire on October 20th of next year. So I like to do 60 days out. So we'll put this at August 20th of 2023. And we have that information filled out. So let's click our save button. Always save your information before you go to the next tab. So now you can see here that the date has been populated for your renewals. So the next tab we have is hierarchy. This is going to show where your amendment history is. And we have the next tab as contacts. This will be your agency or entity team that's responsible for the contract. And remember, responsible means contract officer. That means the contract officer has the authority, delegated authority to change contracts and to sign contracts. All right, negotiated terms will go in your next tab. You can have your payment terms here. You can have any other information that you want to enter into this tab here. And if you notice, there's no red asterisk, so this is not required, but you still want to make sure that you have all of your information in the system. Next is the price list. As you can see, it's been pre-populated with the information from the sourcing event. You see our price here is $93 for each cat tower. So all of that is in. If you need to go in and edit, remember that pencil, you can go in and edit from here. The evaluation portion is for the contractor's performance. This is a solution that I think is awesome because now you can go in, you can upload the contractor's performance. That way it is visible to all who can see your contract. So this is a part of the tool that I am happy about. I'm also ecstatic about the next one is risk. Every contract has risk, especially high risk contracts. So this is a good tab here where you can create your risk assessments for all of your contracts, not just high risk. Documents, this tab here, you can add any and all documents pertaining to your contracts. If you have additional information, you can add it here. It could be part of the main contract, or you can have supplemental documents that can go along with the contract. You can click other documents here and add those. You can see your purchase orders as well. When it comes to your contract, you can see who's purchasing against those contracts. The workflow tab will show how the contract is going through the approval process. Expenditures, this is the payments dealing with the contract. So this is an awesome feature to have as well. So you can see the system is very transparent. And also subcontractors. This is wonderful as well. So please make sure that your contractors are using this function. So let's jump back to the header. We want to make sure everything is correct here on the header. And then finally, look at the overview. This is very important before you hit this green button. You want to mark this contract public. Per the policy, the APSPM section 3.19, and also the VPPA section 2.2, 1110, all contracts must be made public for transparency. So before you submit this for review, make sure you mark this button public, mark contract as public. And Eva is going to ask you, of course, are you sure you want to make this contract public? Please click OK. And you can see now that the contract is public. So once you have gone through all of your information, you can click submit for review. Currently, right now, I have administrative roles, so I can approve this as well. But with you, your entity, you will go through the approval process. So we're going to go through and approve the contract for signature, and the contract will go to the supplier for approval and signature as well. And that's what the process is doing here. So now this contract has been signed. And if you click the workflow button, you can see that everything is green. Green means go, means running. All right. So we are going to save and close this. And now I'm going to take you back to my landing page so you can see how the contracts will appear. Now your contract is running. Oh, where are my contracts? All right, well, if we can't find it there, we can always browse contracts. And as you can see, cat carriers that we created is not running, it's still in draft. So if you ever have this here and your contract isn't running, let's go back to that contract. Always remember, click the pencil. Pencil means you can edit. And let's see why my contract is not running. Oh, I know why. The contract isn't running until the supplier signs the contract as well and return it back. So when the contractor returns the contract back, the status will change to running. All right, now let's create a standalone contract. We're going to go to Browse Contracts. That's one way you can go in. And under Browse Contract, there's also a Create button. So you can either click there or create here. There's always two ways to go in. So let's create a contract. And let's give it a name. Let's just do Stone. That's something simple. Remember, red means required. So let's make sure that we fill in everything that is required of us. So this is a standalone contract. So our opportunity, let's just say quick quote because of the pricing for the stone. And the contracting entity, this will be your agency or entity. We'll just keep it simple. Department of General Services. And our contract effective date. So let's just put in tomorrow. And our end date, the 20th of next year. Oh, we passed 2020. There we go. All right. Now our procurement transaction type stones, that's going to be, of course, supplies, non-technology. And we have to make sure that we have our commodity code. Let's just pick stones for building. All right, so once we have our required information, we can save. And Eva has now created our shell. And here is our contract number at the top here, 7671. So just like the sourcing event, you will go through your tabs over to the left when creating a standalone contract, fill out all of that information and submit for review. Please make sure that you're putting your questions in the chat so we can get all of your questions addressed. So we have our stone contract. We're going to go ahead and put in a price. You can add items. So let's create items for stone. Let's just stay stone here. It is a product. And our commodity is stones for a building. And as you can see, you can add multiple commodities. All right. So we have our required information. One thing when you're adding an item for a standalone contract, over in your pricing section, it automatically goes to approve. You can set this to draft if you want to work on the contract and come back. But remember that this is automatically set to approve. If you just want to work on a contract and come back, make sure you click draft. All right, but we're going to go ahead and leave that at approved. We already have our supplier. And we know this is stone, so we'll type that in. Our currency is already set for us. The unit of measure is a required field, so make sure you know what your unit of measure is going to be for your items. So we'll just pick pound, I'll do a dry pound. All right, and we'll just put in a price there. So let's save. Price from list must contain a quantity and a price. All right, so our quantity, let's just say 100. So that'll be 100 pounds. So let's save again. All right, so we have the go ahead. This exclamation point in the triangle just shows that the rates that we entered is for this contract only. All right, so let's save and close. So now we see that we have our item in our contract. So we can go ahead and submit for review once we have gone through our tabs to make sure our information is correct. We'll submit for review. And we have to go through the same process again. All right. So now our contract is in the signed status. Also, we want to make sure that this contract is public. So remember, we have to mark it as public. All right, we have marked it as public. We can save it. All right, so now our contract has been saved and we're waiting on the supplier to send back his executed copy. So let's just say you get that back and he decided, hey, you know, I think I'm going to come down on the price. Can we amend this or change it before we execute it? Not a problem. So we're in our contracts. First, let me show you how to get back there. So you're under my contracts, or you can browse contracts. And you can see we have the stone contract here. We need to edit it because the contractor decided, hey, I want to lower the price. Absolutely wonderful. So if you want to change or amend a contract, you'll go to the Other Actions tab. You'll click on Create Amendment, and Eva will ask you, are you sure you want to amend this contract? Of course we do. He's lowered the price, definitely. So let's click OK. And now we're going to go over to amendment reasons. And the system automatically generates a number. So this is great for us old time, new contract officers. Now, which amendment was this? Can't remember which one it was. The system counts it for you already here. So Amendment 1, and remember, red asterisk means required. So we're going to put in, let's just say it's a modification in price management event. You can choose all the options here in the box that pertains to your amendment reasons. So let's just stick with price management event. All right. So we're going to save. And we're going, once that has saved, you got the all clear from Eva, we're going to go to the hierarchy. As you see here, Eva is going to show that we are working on the amendment. And once this has been approved, this will go into a signed or running status, excuse me. So we'll go to the price list and we're going to edit. All right, so the price has dropped. So we have to go in and edit. You'll find all of your items here. Now, remember the item that you want to edit is in the bold. So let's work from the bold. So we'll click the pencil to edit that.
That's coming out of me.
All right, so let's change our price. Let's go down to $5.99. What a great contract. So we're going to save, and we got the green. So let's save and close. And once again, Eva is just showing that the rates are only applicable to this contract. So we're going to save and close here. And we're going to submit for review. And this is where your contract goes through your entity's whole approval process. And we're going to keep approving. And remember, this is in the UAT platform. So as an administrator, I have all rights, but give your organization time to go through its approval process. So if we go back to the hierarchy, you can see that the first version, your original contract, was amended. And now you can see your first amendment here in the signed status. All right, so let's go back to contracts.
I don't have it.
And let's browse the contracts. And now you can see the stone, the original contract is listed. And you can see that it is amended and signed. And it's, of course, in the draft status because we have to wait till the supplier, of course, signs it and sends it back. And once that has been done and is gone through the process, the validity will turn to running and your contract will be valid. So make sure those questions are going in the chat. I know I've gone through step by step. And in the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and go back to our question and answer chat of this VILT. I am going to stop sharing. All right. Let's see. All right.
There we go.
All right, there you go.
I had to get back. All right, so now we're going to go over any questions that you have. And we will check the question and answer box to see what we have.
All right.
All right, there are two listed, and Sarah said would like to answer the question live. So Sarah answering, or how do we want
No,
to do that?
I just meant we would go over
Gotcha.
it during the Q&A.
Okay,
All right.
just want to make sure.
Got it. The question is, are all documents uploaded to the contract shared as public when you click mark as public? Yes, they are. All of your documents are marked as public. And yes, they are public. All right. So.
All right, and I want to add just a little thing to that. Maybe the is in your sourcing project, in your RFX, you can add documents there that aren't public, but the ones that you add to your actual contract, when you mark them public, they are shared when you mark your contract public.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, and the next question is, can you change the assigned contract number? And it does the assigned contract number have any relationship to the sourcing event?
All right. No, you cannot change the assigned contract number because that's system generated. And no, the sourcing event and contract numbers are not related. There's no relationship. They're computer generated as they're completed and approved. Good question, Amanda.
All right, do we have any other questions?
Oh, I know you guys have questions. Don't be afraid to ask, please. Any question. This is a new system. It's a change for everyone. I know there's anxiety, there's concern, there's fear, but embrace the change, ask questions. We're all in this ship together.
And one question that we had is it possible to demo receiving against a contract? And I'll
Can
let
I
Liz take that
receive?
one.
Okay, let me see if I can.
I was gonna say, because I know the ones that you just did are still in draft, so you can't receive
Yeah.
against those.
Yeah, I can't receive against those until the supplier signs it. But if you, Joanne, will go ahead and
Stop sharing?
no. Ask
Oh.
take any other questions. I'm gonna see if I
Okay.
can be the supplier on this side, on my other.
Wait, and is that something, because when I hear receiving, because I'm also the P2P lead, I think of receiving against a purchase order. Does that also happen during the contracts process?
Actually, you are right, Sarah. It should be from a purchase order that they place against a contract.
And that we do go over during the orders VILT, and there are 4 of those being offered next week, and they are taught by yours truly. So great question, and we will absolutely demo that during that VILT.
So make sure you're signed up for the P2P. All right. Do we have any other questions?
I don't see any open questions. Do we want to hop into the last poll question and see if
We sure will.
this team can do it again? And get
All right, so we're going to
100%?
do the final poll question, question number 3. Do you feel ready to use this functionality? You are confident, you need a little practice, or you need to go back and review your training resources. And of course, there's no right or wrong answer. We just want to see how confident you are after today's session. And it says we're going to give you 30 seconds, but you know, everybody go ahead and press the button. You know, are you really confident? You're ready. You can't wait for November 1st. Or do you need a little more practice?
So there's only 2 folks who are waiting to reply, and then you guys will
Okay.
also get 3. Oh, only waiting on 1 person to reply.
Okay, that last person, you have to pick one. I mean, you have to pick one. We're down to 1 person. Come on, we can do it.
The trainers like me are super competitive. And yesterday was never had happened that we got 100% on all 3. So
We
I
can
wanted
do
to
it all 3 unless somebody took a potty break.
It happens. It happens.
It does.
So we're at 93%, which is not bad at all.
Okay, we'll
So
take
I
it. We'll take
end
it.
the poll and share the results.
You guys did great.
And everybody says they need a little practice. We all need practice. I mean, you know, that is to be expected. And that is nothing wrong with that. That's why we have the training system up there. All right, so what can you do after today's session? You're gonna respond to the short survey that will appear on your screen after this session ends, and that helps us know what we're doing well in addition to what we can improve on. Review the self-paced training and the VIP LMS. You can check out the training website for more information, including the quick reference guides, and bookmark the EVA Transition newsroom. That's our central place to get more information about the new platform, gives you all the dates and all that wonderful stuff. And you can sign up for the buyer user groups, our bug groups, if you haven't already. They always give out great information. And we still haven't had any more questions. So last chance.
Yeah, if there aren't any questions, I will just first of all say thank you so much to our amazing co-trainers, Elizabeth and Joanne. I say this on every single VILT session, and I will continue to do it for the next 12 that we have next week and the 2 tomorrow. But everybody at DPS is really working hard as we continue toward that go live date. And that means that everybody has a lot of different tasks they're assigned and things going on. So I just can't thank the co-trainers enough that they have taken time out to be able to dedicate some time to training you all as awesome end users. So thank you both so much. I really, really appreciate you. I literally cannot say it enough. And thank you all for being great attendees today. I know it's tough Thursday afternoon, and you all did a wonderful job, and we appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.